Grade 2. I don't know if you noticed, but this week's packets seem to be a bit thicker than usual. But I don't want you to stress about it. It's not just worksheets. We have included a lot of activities this week, actual things that you guys can do that aren't just writing on a worksheet or things like that. So this is one of the activities, and I'm actually very excited about it. So let me explain to you. What you are going to need for this activity is your workbook, your pencil, your scissors, and a ruler. I have misplaced my ruler again, like I always do for some reason. But okay. So, in your workbook, I want you to open on a clean page. Before we do anything else, open your workbook on a clean page. Make your Minky Monkey and write the maths date. The maths date would be 10-8-2020. I've misplaced my ruler again, so please don't do this freehand like I am, because look at how horrible it looks when you do that. That's just terrible. Okay, make a X underneath. No. You don't need to make Minky Monkeys after that. Okay, so just your X and then you leave it. Once you're there, I almost wanted to say let me know. Once you're there, just wait for further instructions. If you're not there yet, pause and then you can carry on. But I'm moving on now. So, once you've made your X underneath your line, what I want you to do is this line, okay, so one line open, one line dot. 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 So you are basically just skipping a line and making a dot at every second line in place of your Minky Monkeys. So you leave the line open and you make a dot in every second line instead of making Minky Monkeys. So this is what your page is going to look like all the way to the bottom. I think folding it in half would spare us some paper. So please fold your paper in half. And then I will explain to you how we are going to get started. Good, so if you haven't finished making your dots, pause the video, finish that. I'm moving on to the next part. Good. Here we have some regrouping sums. Plus, 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 plus. You have the worksheet M1A and another M1A apparently. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there are 8 sums on them. And then you have M1B. And I'm guessing another M1B. I don't know how that makes sense, but okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So you have 8 minus sums and you have 8 plus sums. Alright. Now what I want you to do. Look at me. No, you can't. But I mean, look on the video. I'm putting them all together. Okay? I'm not doing it one by one because that's going to take me forever. I'm putting them all together, but I'm making sure that the edges are exactly over each other. So it looks like one page. Then I'm going to cut. You will see there are dotted lines. I'm cutting it through, but now I didn't waste my time cutting 4 papers individually. I just cut all of them at the same time. Now the ones that are left over, I'm doing the same with, but only keep it to 4 because if it gets too thick, you won't be able to make precise cuts anymore. So I'm cutting all of these cards out nicely. Okay. those are extra ones that I'm going to throw away. You can go ahead and cut out all of these little cards. Okay. Just make sure to check on the second page. For example, some of these went up higher, but look, I'm making sure that I didn't cut off any numbers. I only cut off maybe some of the border, some of the patterns. So make sure that you aren't cutting off any of the pattern of the numbers, that you only cut the borders. So I'm going to keep doing this until all of my little cards are separate. So that I have eventually 16 little cards. Alright, so I have them here. It doesn't matter if they are not in order, that's actually the point of the whole game. So this is where you pause and you go cut them out so that you eventually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 little cards. So go cut them out. If cutting them all at the same time, if that method does not work for you, or you see that it comes out untidy, then don't do it that way. Then you cut them out individually, one by one. Good, so pause the video and get your 16 cards. Good, once you have them, I'm going to show you how this game is going to work, or how this activity works. Now that you have these 16 cards, I want you to kind of do this on your desk. Just spread them out, make sure none of them are sticking to each other, spread them out, just randomly, there shouldn't be no order, just kind of mix them up on your desk. Kind of mix up these little cards, okay, as much as you can, so that you don't know where you will find what. Okay, now, once you have done this and they are all mixed up on your desk, you close your eyes, and you can even do that little thing and point to one. So I'm doing this, my eyes are closed, and I'm pointing to that one. Now I open it, and I take this card. Next step is I look at my sum. Good, it says I can write number 5, 5, 4, 7 plus 1, 2, 5. I want you to write it next to each other in your workbook so that you can see the different ways that you can write the sum. But you can work it out here. I only want the answer in the workbook. Please send these little cards back. So I know that it's going to be a lot of effort, but on the back of each of these little cards, I want you to write your name. You can even go paste them. No, don't paste them. Just write your name at the back of the little cards. I want them back so that I can see how you worked out the sums, okay? So, the reason that we're writing it next to each other in the workbook is so that I can see the answer. It's actually just for the answer in the workbook. I want the working out on the page, on the little paper. So now you go work it out. We start with our units. So units, tens, hundreds. Start with our units. 7 plus 5 is 12. I cannot write the entire 12, so I write the 2, which is the unit in 12. And I put my extra 10 in the attic. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus the 1 in the attic is 7. 5 plus 1 is 6. I rewrite my answer 6, 7, 2. Good. I did my first sum. Now I can put my card to the side. Now I go again. I reshuffle them a bit. Da, 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 da. Now I'm going to do close my eyes. I'm going to point to one. Which one did I get? This one. Good. Now, next to the number 5 one in my workbook, I write number 1. I know these aren't in order, but it's for me to see, okay, that was the 5 plus card, so I can easily get it. So number 1, 731 minus 65 equals. And now I go do my sum on my card. First thing I do, I put them in my houses. I start with my units. 1 minus 5. Can I say 1 minus 5? No, I cannot, because 1 is less than 5. So I have to go borrow from my neighbor. He gives me another 10. He lost 1 10, so 1 less than 3 is 2 that is left. 11 minus 5 gives me 6. 2 minus 6. Can I say 2 minus 6? No, I cannot. 2 is less than 6. So I go borrow from my 7. It gives this one another 10. 1 less than 7 is 6. So 12 minus 6 is 6. And I carry my 6 down, and my answer is 666. Okay. Not a fan of that number, but okay. It's just maths, I guess. Okay. Let's do one more. I'm mixing. My eyes are closed, and I choose one. This is the one that I got. So in my workbook, I write. Actually, what you could do is, on the one side of the page, make a plus sign, and on the other side of the page, make a minus sign. Every time you draw a minus card, write the number here. For example, if the next one was this one, I would write, okay, number 8 was the next one. Only write in the lines with the little dots. So the number 8 was the next one, 612 minus 387. And I drew this plus one, which was also an 8, but now I write it in the plus side, 8. 3, 6, 8 plus 4, 2, 3. If you guys are struggling with this activity, rewatch the instructions. I'm explaining it the entire time. So you have no excuse not to do this correctly. I'm giving you everything that you need on this video. So now I go do my sum on my card. Units, tens, hundreds. 8 plus 3 gives me 11, but I can't write the 11 here. I write the unit of 11 down, and I put the 10 in the tens house. 6 plus 2 is 8, plus the 1 in the attic is 9. 3 plus 4 is 7. So my answer is 791. Now I put that card to the side. Now I do the minus sum that I drew. Units, tens, hundreds. Eventually, you will have 8 sums on this side and 8 sums on that side. So 2 minus 7, can't do that because 2 is less than 7. I go borrow from my tens house. They give me a 10. What is 1 less than 1? Is 1 minus 1 is 0. So now 12 minus 7 gives me 5. 0 minus 8 cannot happen. I cannot take 8 away from nothing, so I go borrow from my 6. It gives me another 10. 1 less than 6 is 5. 10 minus 8 gives me 2. 5 minus 3 gives me 2. My answer is 225. You carry on like this until you have 8 sums on each side, and then at the bottom of your work, please remember to draw a line. Good. Have fun with this activity. It is a really fun activity. We try to work in something like this where you guys are interactive and you have to use your brains. It's a mini challenge, and we included one of these, I think, almost every day. We try to, and we are going to try and do that for the next few weeks as well to keep things interesting. So, enjoy your activity. Next video will be a grammar link to something that is called homonyms.